this. And we'll go here. All right. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. Glad that you're here. We have a great evening lined up tonight. Oh my goodness, is it going to be good? We've got some people from around the world that are logging on, and a couple of those people are in Italy. It's 3 o'clock in the morning in Italy. Evelyn is with us. So glad that you're here, Evelyn. Also, and Alberto from Corsair. Alberto is the owner of Corsair. He's trying to log in now. So excited about that. This show is Harley Milne's show. He is going to fly coast to coast, try to set a world record to fly paramotor across the United States. There's a website. It's 50xchallenge.info if you want to check that out. And if you want to support his adventure, he's on a cell phone and kind of obscure location. So we'll work through. If he gets a little glitchy, just stay tuned. We'll make sure that we try to make it as smooth as we possibly can. We're also possibly going to get a visit from Ryan Roberts from PPG Smoke. Also, we may be seeing the Shaws possibly from Corsair. They also may be logging in, but I'll stay tuned for that. We're going to talk all things paragliding, and we're going to talk about some flying, all kinds of cool stuff tonight. We got some big giveaways tonight. Well, not huge giveaways, but some giveaways. We're going to give away multiple things tonight on tonight's show. You don't want to miss that. So if you're in the chat, you're talking in the chat, your name's getting put in the wheel, and I'm pretty excited about that. We're going to share a video from Corsair. Real quick, I do want to mention our sponsors of the show, paramotorprops.com. Go check out their website. They have great deals on props. The website is paramotorprops.com. Go check that out. Also, the show's brought to you by paraorangeproducts.com. If you haven't checked out Para Orange Products, Larry and the Bag Lady, Chris, they make all kinds of stuff for your paramotoring needs and even paragliding needs. So go check out their website. That's paraorangeproducts.com. Also, the show is brought to you by Nebraska PPG, and he's been a sponsor of the show from the very beginning. So I really appreciate him. Josh Bowden runs a great school there in Nebraska. Let's go segue to the video. Let me just share this real quick here and enjoy this. Oh, I got to do something else. Let me stop before I share that. I got to share it with sound because it has a great, some great audio. All right. All right. Great video from Corsair. I'm pretty excited about that, by the way. That video is pretty slick, and I like that motor. I instantly wanted one. So whoever put that together, it worked. Looks like such an awesome setup.
Good. I think Evelyn was up to the wee hours of this morning working on that. So,
oh, really?
Late afternoon, a couple of days. I mean, yeah, I'm not the one recording it. It's made by a video maker, professional video maker, but it's longer. So I have to cut and make a shorter video clips. This one, and there's also another one with the voice that is not mine. As narrator. just for telling quickly who we are, what we do, and also our philosophy.
Okay. I'm really glad that you're here, and thank you so much again for coming on. I know it's very early in the morning for you, so I appreciate you jumping on and being a part of it. I want to start off the show first. Thank you, Jason, for your contribution to Super Chat. Uh, um, appreciate you doing that. We've got some more people are logging in here, so just stay tuned. Jeffrey Miller is part of the ground crew, I believe. Just connected. Welcome to the show, Jeffrey.
Hello.
Real quick, I just want to give a rundown. Ray Pierce is also with us tonight. He's going to be a part of the ground crew for Harley and his adventure. Our moderation staff, Anthony Peregringo is with us. Nick Fazekas, he is also with us. Sean Nafsker is with us. Craig Taylor is also with us. And so I appreciate the moderators and what they contribute. We're going to talk about this adventure. I do want to mention that Harley already did a pretty massive flight. He flew every state in the continental United States, as well as Hawaii and in Alaska. And it took him a total of 200 and I wrote it down here, 7 months, 2 days, 10 hours, 25 minutes. And so that is a world record. That's pretty amazing. He was able also to raise a bunch of money for charity. And I thought that was pretty awesome. We've already done a show where we talked about that adventure. And so if you want to go back and look at some of the other videos, the Harley Milne video, go to the website, paraglidingtalk.com. And go check out, I can't remember what episode it is, just kind of scan through previous episodes and you'll enjoy that one as well. Let's dive right in. Harley, we're going coast to coast this time. You're going to start it off here in sunny Southern California, San Diego. Harley's been corresponding with Anthony Peregringo to get a good launch site, contacted the Navy. We're doing big things with this adventure. Let's talk about it a little bit and I'll give you the platform.
Thank you. Yeah, this has become so much bigger than I ever imagined it would be. Starting off with talking to say, hey, I want to go do this. Would you be chief of my ground crew? And the day he said yes, everything started to grow and get momentum from there. And of course, the moment that Corsair and Blackhawk said yes, that they were interested in sponsoring me, that sort of gave it a whole bunch more momentum. The shores with Paradrenaline and Dudak to come up with the wing that I was looking for. And Helix, Beyond at Helix has gone to extreme lengths to find me props that are specifically tuned for this cross-country stuff. So it's just in the sponsorship alone for the equipment to be able to make this happen. The Corsair engine is so fuel efficient so far, and with the bigger fuel tank that I'm be flying with, it's just so incredibly exciting. I'll quickly add, because I don't want to forget this, but and of course there's mention of my team, which maybe we can do more of that later, but Leah Catula, who of course saw me on our Paramotor Nation, said, well, why aren't we doing FAI records? And I had explained how I had approached them, but they didn't seem too interested in working with me. And she has opened up all the doors working with FAI, NAA, the US Ultralight Association, with Jeff Gorwin at USPPA. And she has cleared the way literally over the last 2 weeks for us to actually set FAI records through the course of this cross country. So this is huge. And so I can't thank everyone enough. Leah is working so incredibly hard to clear all the sort of the administrative side for us to be able to even make this happen. So I can't believe it's been 2 full months in the planning, but it's incredible how everyone have come together to make this happen. I mean, I'm just the idiot who's going to fly it. I think at the end of the day, everyone else is really going to make this a success.
All right. So you're starting it off here in Southern California. And of course, the most important question is how are you going to avoid that gigantic ball of airspace regulations?
Yeah, so very early on, I did actually plan the route, and there were a number of factors, of course, trying to dodge all the MOAs and different airspace risks. I mean, the good news is that there's a lot of open space along the route. I did pick the shortest route, and I know that a few people have asked questions. What is the route? What is the route? And I haven't shared that too broadly, and so I think on Tuesday next week we will go ahead and actually publish the route itself for everyone to be able to get to, and that's going to be visible through the Garmin Share, where people will actually be able to follow and track my progress every inch of the way. So we'll publish the map, and then people will actually be able to follow literally every minute of every day. I think every 10 minutes it updates with putting a new pin as to where my location is.
James Sutherland just donated $5 to the super chat. Thank you, James Sutherland. Appreciate your contribution to the show. Let's talk a little bit about how much time you've spent in planning, and will they be able to find that information that you just mentioned at the website 50xchallenge.info? Oh, glitch in the matrix. Or Harley just fell asleep right now. I'm not sure. One or the other. You know, Evelyn should be the one falling asleep right now.
Yeah. So my connection did sort of get a little on connection, but I think you were asking me about how long this has taken to plan.
Yeah. How much time have you spent planning, and can they find that info that you just shared at 50xchallenge.info?
Yes, some of it is. Most of the information about the trip is there, but a lot of the updates that I'm publishing take place on the Facebook page and 50x. So if they're following there and have liked that page, they'll see all those updates. And over the next week, we'll be adding in all the updates about the actual route itself. So that'll be available on the website, plus the link to actually follow. We're even going to see if we can figure out, and we'll announce this as we get a little bit closer, where we'll try and even do some live streaming while I'm in the air during different pieces of it. And that's largely going to be driven by whatever the technology is capable of doing and what the safety factors are. In terms of the planning, coming back to your question, I first thought about trying to make this happen back in May, June, towards the end of the 50x state tour. And actually submitted my first application to Guinness World Records back then in the hope of them approving a world record for this trip, which unfortunately they're not going to recognize a coast-to-coast record for us. And I didn't find that out until about a week ago.
They said they will not. Okay. Ray Pierce, maybe you can tell us a little bit about you and what your plans are as a ground support crew, and then we'll also ask Jeffrey Miller details about what
when I took another look and I thought, okay, I think it's possible we could do.
Harley, you locked up on us again. But my job is to try and keep Harley in the air about as much as we possibly can. And even when I got to try and take care of him in every aspect. I got to drive him. I got to push him. I got to be my boot up his rear end if he tries to get lazy. And I got to also make sure he's eating and drinking, and he's not going to just crater on me, because he's gonna have his plate full. He's gonna be bored when he's flying for 2 or 3 hours at a stretch. But he tells me I'm his crew chief, so I've got to keep the whole ground crew organized. And when things change weather-wise, if there's a little thunderstorm or something, we got to go around it. Well, we got to replan LZs on the fly, and it's going to be a pretty good workload. And there's going to actually be about what is there, 4 of us traveling across the country in 2 different vehicles and trailers to do this. So we'll be able to leapfrog Harley, because I fully expect that the vehicle that's with him when he launches will not be the one sitting at his LZ, because he'll be able to fly faster than we can drive a few times. We're hoping that leapfrogging will fix that. And, well, Harley, you got anything else to add there?
So are we going from sunrise to sunset, legal flying hours, and just trying to push that as the standard?
Yes, that's the plan. And we're going to push it just as long as Mother Nature will let us stay in the air. If Mother Nature gives us a strong enough indication that we should be sitting on the ground, we'll probably do that for a little while.
What's your background?
Right back in the air.
And why are you a good candidate for ground support?
Well, good question. I asked Harley that once or twice myself.
Yeah.
But why did I get drafted?
Yeah.
Well, I've lived my whole life in Wyoming, out here in the sticks, and I'm the owner operator of a couple of small oil fields here in Wyoming. And when you're an hour from the nearest parts house, the bush fix is the rule, not the exception. And I'm always having to do things on the fly. Nothing is ever really planned out in my life. I have to just take what life gives me and make what I can out of it. And being flexible and quick that way, I think will actually work for this kind of a project, because there's a lot of planning that went into this coast to coast tour. But like any war plan, it doesn't survive first contact with the enemy. And I'm pretty sure Mother Nature will tell us most of this is not going to work. We're going to have to start over and move the route north, or there's all kinds of things that can happen. Right now, the forecast is looking like there'll be thunder showers in the Texas area, and
Yep.
We're going to probably be zigzagging all throughout that stuff. And it's going to be an ordeal.
Jeffrey Miller, you're also a part of the big plan. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what your contribution to the adventure is going to be?
Well, I'm Jeff. I am a medical doctor trained in internal medicine and family medicine. And be quite honest with you, I'm hoping my job is already done and I will not be needed. But at the end of the day, I'm available for phone consultation throughout the entire trip. I'll be available 24/7. Should any of the team members get sick, we'll deal with that on the fly. I've already provided the team with a basic medical kit with some medications and stuff they might need along the way. This is the season with flu and of course coronavirus and all that stuff. So, but primarily a lot of it's just been kind of coaching the team and, what to be thinking about, particularly with them staying healthy along the way. But should the need arise and somebody need, some sort of medical attention that a lot of things we can handle by telemedicine today. And I'm hoping I can handle that. And that's pretty much my role. Hopefully, like I said, my role will be zilch from here on out. That would be a good trip, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
That's a great plan. Evelyn, I wanted to talk to you, probably of all the people on the show, you are the shining star tonight, because you're the machine that's going to make all this happen. Tell us about your product and give us some background and tell us a little bit about what you do for Corsair.
Well, I'm the customer service. And so I deal with all pilots and I follow all the assistants, and I give, I'm the one sending all the engines worldwide. Together with my colleague, there's also Consuelo. Alberto is the owner and the one thinking about next development. Um, one of the years will be the EFI on our range of engines. Um, then what can I tell you? We are one of the very first paramotor manufacturer because the company next year, which are 25 years, it's our anniversary. So it's a long run. And I've been working for this company for the last 10 or 11 years. So I know pretty much of the how the engine has evolved and all the development that we run on it. One of the last, the one who gave us more popularity again is the exhaust because it's pretty quick to see the shape and the color and everything. The reliability of the engine is always the same. I mean, bulletproof. So we hope that we give Harley plenty of satisfactions for his fuel consumption and also for the speed. So wherever is possible, we are it's included in the engine. There's also the clutch system that we develop a different system without springs. So there is one part, and it's really reliable also this part. So altogether, the Black Devil has been renewed and reprojected from the crankcase to everything because we had to update it, upgrade it to nowadays. And Alberto is still working on everything. So always thinking about new solutions because part of the company now is the innovation.
And so let me ask you a personal question. Have you been able to fly yet?
With the EFI, yes, Alberto is making all the chest.
Have you actually been able to fly though? Do you have a motor?
No, I don't.
You need to talk to Alberto and make that happen.
Okay, you catch me.
You know,
That's great.
I'm
hopefully you
trying
guys,
to put him in.
Okay.
hopefully you guys can hear me now again.
Yeah.
You know, the partnership with Milasi too, you know, and the connection with Vespa, as everyone knows, the Vespa engine is, you know, the most popular scooter in the world.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that relationship that Corsair has, and of course being, you know, a lot of the motors out there, they've learned from Corsair. And so bringing in, you know, that quality of workmanship, that reliability, is something exceptional. I think one of the big differences that we're going to have with this trip versus, you know, the 50 state tour is that the 50 state tour is still relatively short flights, whereas, you know, these engines, or the engine that I'm flying is going to be, you know, flying maybe 6 or 7 hours a day, at a steady RPM. That's pretty substantial amount of flying. Most people fly for an hour and then land, maybe up to 2 hours. With the fuel that I expect to be flying with, we could get upwards of 3 hours at a time and do, you know, preferably 2 or 3 flights in a day rather than 4 or 5 flights in a day. So that's pretty incredible to get that kind of reliability out of an engine. And I just the fuel economy alone that I've been getting on 80-mile trips is exceptional. Like I can't give exact numbers, but they're good enough to say that what I have been flying by comparison to this is it's exciting. It's incredibly exciting. And so when we think about EFI in the future, you know, they kind of gave me a hard time, said, could you wait till next year when EFI is ready and fly that? I could probably fly, you know, half the day when we get EFI, and because that will be fuel management like we've never had.
Right. Let's give something away, shall we?
Yeah.
We've got some T-shirts to give away. And so Harley, I'm just going to have them get in contact with you. I can have them go through the website. Is that okay?
Yeah, in fact, they can preferably maybe just direct message me through Facebook. I think is probably going to be the easiest way, but they can certainly just contact me through the website as well. And
Okay.
I know that we have a Corsair T-shirt, we have a Blackhawk T-shirt, and I also have a couple of custom T-shirts specifically for the 50X. I don't know if I can even show that to anybody, but maybe that'll be the surprise because my team hasn't even seen them yet.
Nice. We're going to spin the wheel for the first one, huh?
Yeah.
Let's do it, Sean.
All right, give me just a second here. I'm catching up on all. I got like one, maybe two names that popped in here. Just, boop, yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, no more names going in the wheel, no more.
All right.
It's already full.
By the way, this show is brought to you by the Tri-State Skywalkers. If you are in the Indiana, Kentucky, or Ohio area, you can join a flying club. Tri-State Skywalkers is an awesome group. Joining a group is going to make you a safer pilot in the long run, and I think it's a good idea. Maybe you're interested in starting your own. Reach out to Brandon McLeod. He's a great guy. Also, he runs germgladiator.com. Great website if you want to get some hand sanitizers. I know the whole chaos with what's happening. You can kill some germs with that.
We're
All
spinning.
right. We're spinning to win. Paraglidingtalk.com. By the way, this show is also brought to you by iFly Indiana Powered Paragliding. If you're interested in flying paramotors, no better place to get the proper training than iFlyIndiana.com. Kevin and his team will get your feet off the ground. That's iFlyIndiana.com. Oh yeah. It looks like a trike flyer is going to win. Oh, no, it rolled right past him. It's a little glitchy. Oh, darn it.
Oh.
I can't tell. I can't read that name.
I'm thinking Ariane Krieger, maybe,
Jason
or
Schultz.
Jason
Nowhere.
Schultz.
Jason Schultz. He donated $10 to the super chat and said, paragliding sucks.
Jason Schultz. Man.
Oh, that's so funny.
You are officially now a winner. Jason Schultz.
Of a paramotor T-shirt.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Why is that so entertaining? Oh, it's so funny. He's not watching, I guarantee it. He could care less about the show. He literally calls in just to troll me. That's it. Spin it again. Let's give somebody else a win.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Here we
Let's
go.
do it.
All right. We're going to spin it again here.
So
here we go,
man.
y'all. And we're spinning.
All right. This wonderful spin was brought to you by Lone Star Paramotor. If you're in the Lone Star state of Texas, you can reach out to Ron Turan and his team for world-class training. Go check out their website at lonestarparamotor.com. Oh, yeah. By the way, we're also going to get some updates tonight from Ryan Roberts at ppgsmoke.com. I've been saving his commercial because he's going to be jumping on here soon. Oh, I was wondering what that was, where that was coming
Here
from.
comes Walter. Oh.
Jeff Tube donated.
Oh, this is on a blanker.
That's the last
keep going,
guy
keep
that
going,
was on
keep
there.
going, keep going. Go.
Oh my! It's rigged. Rigged.
I win.
Congratulations,
win.
Robert Michael.
I win. Oh, it feels so good.
Congratulations, Robert. You are now officially a winner on your own show.
That tickles the cockles of my heart. Jeff Tube donated $5 to the super chat. You know what? I want to donate that shirt to Jeff Tube. Congratulations, Jeff Tube. You were a winner, chicken dinner. I'm going to write your name here. So you winners can reach out to Harley on social media. Use Facebook, Harley Milne. That's Milne. And
I
get in contact with him.
I should confess I'm Jeff Tube. I just made that donation, so
You did?
why don't you donate it to somebody else?
We're giving away shirts here.
Yeah.
We should give it to can we give it to my mom? Let's do
There
that.
you go. There you go. I approve.
Linda Anderson. Oh, that is so funny. Well, thank you for the contribution, Jeffrey, but it should have been $20. I mean, now that we know who you
I
are.
don't have my glasses on. I just picked whatever I could.
That's so awesome. Linda Anderson, winner. That's my mom. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for watching the show, and thank you for all that you do for the show, by the way. She's faithful to take care of the show. Ryan Roberts is with us. Ryan Roberts has been fast after making some amazing things for paragliding, all things paragliding. He's working on an electric motor. He's got a frame that he's just come out with. He's got some new headphones. He created the PPG Smoke Chase Cam. He's also got PPG Smoke floats. He's got PPG Smoke lamels. I can go on and on, folks. It's amazing. Ryan Roberts, glad that you're here. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com.
What's up, everyone? Always good to be here. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yeah.
Some familiar faces. A couple of guys I flew with recently. What's up?
Yes, sir. And soon I'll be flying with you guys too.
Yeah, closing in on that.
Yes, I'm excited.
Can you guys hear the screaming child in the background?
Oh,
no?
yeah,
Okay.
I can hear him. Yeah.
You got a little hint of that?
Yeah, I did. Just got some flashbacks.
I'm glad I'm not on the receiving end of that right now.
Yeah.
So it sounds like everyone, is looking for an update. I want to preface discussion around this stuff, and I don't know how many people are attending right now. I can't really see, but I think
there's 63 people.
Cool. So 53. So transparency around the what and why, and as well as product development efforts, etc. I try and lead that as best as possible. And I guess I'll start by saying there's a reason this company exists. And I think at times we take a little bit of flack for, product quality. And I'm certainly very understanding of that. We've had our ups and downs, but I think first and foremost, it's really important that everyone who is involved either at a friend level or has made a product purchase understands that the goal here is not to get it really right the first time because our volumes are so low. It's not like typical consumer packaged goods where you have really long development cycles, lots of capital to work with, etc. We're well funded, but when you do 500 to 1,000 units of a product, it's really difficult to justify $100,000 or $150,000 worth of engineering efforts behind that product. So that being said, it's the mentality for me is what did we do, what did we learn, and what are we doing next to continue advancing things. So on that note, I would just ask everyone continues to understand and stay focused on that. And we try and do our best with customer service to make sure that replacements, warranties, et cetera, are taken care of. And as we release new products, the same thing would happen, right? So in terms of everything that's going on right now, I actually threw a list together prior to jumping in the call here, but so let's just run through it. Headset, frame, trike, Smoke V3, micro strobes, textile products, and U-float. Lastly is the electric paramotor. So let's run through headset real quick. I'm really sure that this is probably going to be our most successful product. It is incredible. Anthony Vela has been testing it for the past few weeks. We've had a really hard time getting it back from him. Feedback has been outstanding.
Yeah, he's not giving it back.
Yeah, we tried to get it over to Jack Burton to test, and ultimately we're going to send the next sample directly over to him. But phenomenal. Really happy with its outcome, and we have a production viable candidate, which basically means the next thing that we do is cut molds. So that should be shipping the end of this week, early next at the absolute latest. So as soon as that's in hand and I can run through the feature list and just make sure that we've checked all boxes, we'll cut molds, we'll do our initial production run, and we'll make the initial release. any engineering changes or cycles that need to be made between that initial release and future production releases will be addressed. So I'm sure there will be subtleties that we didn't think about. Always, you know, it's inevitable. It always happens. So thumbs up on that one. Home stretch. Frame really close. I would say that in many regards, we're behind in a lot of ways, not only from a competition standpoint, but like an education standpoint. So learning how these frames are designed and welded has been really, really difficult. We spent a ton of money on an inert chamber that enables us to actually weld in, you know, weld titanium in the best possible way. It's not just in inert area within a tube, it's actually an inert chamber. And the guys are welding with gloves inside of this inert chamber. And so the outcome has been really positive so far. The frame is under 6 pounds. I'll repeat that. The frame is under 6 pounds, which is incredible. The trike, it's full titanium, grade 9 aircraft titanium. No cheap shit. It's extremely high end, and our price point will be about half of anyone in the industry right now.
It's $10, by the way, for cussing on the show.
All right, I get my Venmo ready.
Give me money.
All right, what's your Venmo? So the next thing is the trike itself. It's about the same. 2 tire options, balloon tire, and the second is just kind of a normal rubber tire. 6 pounds without tires. Tires obviously change or add variable weight. Smoke V3, Braden just finished the electrical engineering on this yesterday. So we had been, the last 2 versions have been our own pump design, and we're going to try and move away from that and rely on a third party for this pump. Their entire existence is based on pump development for things like healthcare, so insulin distribution, etc. They're extremely expensive pumps. The pump is like $200 a piece at retail. So the third version of this, the goal is a variable flow rate from 0 to 1,000 milliliters. It runs on 3S lithium-ion battery pack that's actually built into the PCB. We are in the process of ordering enough to build a couple samples, and then we'll distribute and test. The other thing that's kind of accompanying that is a redesign of the container, not the fluid container, but the exterior container itself. We found that the neoprene, over time, the stitching would come apart like a wetsuit harness, etc. And so we're moving to a Cordura-based fabric, like a true Cordura-based fabric that's also got a coating on the backside, which will help mitigate any of the fluid leaking, etc. Microstrobes. So evolution in the mentality I described earlier. What do we do? What do we learn? What do we do next? So microstrobes, they are about half the size of a credit card. Those are in tooling right now. So we anticipate on releasing that, you know, probably early next year. Textile products, not going to get too far into that, but there's a whole range of bags and all the other nonsense. You know, I think some of our competitors are charging like $100 for a wing bag or $50 for a wing bag. Basically, it's going to just be everything in one. At, you know, probably somewhere between $100 and $150, and it's like 7 or 8 items that you would normally buy separately in one kind of bulk purchase. U-float done, tooling. We've made a change to the way the floats seal. So we use the same inflation hardware as, let's just say Nirvana and a myriad of other life jacket manufacturers out there. And they all suffer from the same potential issues. But the idea is a nut that sits over top of the O-rings in a different way and actually uses the nut as part of the sealing process. So yeah, exactly that. This is a dual inflation system. It's the only one in the industry, but it's got a left and right inflation system, which is actually hidden behind the Cordura fabric there. Along with that, we made some stitching updates. So like in the mentality of Tesla, just rolling out stuff without being a cyclical consumption in nature. We're just making minor improvements as we go and as we receive customer feedback. Last and largest, So I held off on a rather major announcement a couple months ago. I'll get to that, but the electric paragliding and paramotor stuff, stagnant, but obviously the future of things. If you look at the way the World Economic Forum is basically dispositioning the future of how we spend our time, money, and where we spend our time, it's in a very, very green mentality. So I'm very excited about this, but I took a debt and equity deal with a company called Milne. They're in mainland China. And with that comes 5 engineers. 2 of them are PhD electrical engineers. The remaining 3 are just hardened low-level firmware, industrial design and mechanical engineering. So it's basically an entire team, 100% dedicated to this project. It's been 2.5 years of, quite honestly, a lot of frustration and slow moving on our side. So I ripped the Band-Aid off of that, put it about $100,000 in our account, took a debt and equity deal with Milne, and they are off and running. So month 1, we knocked out a battery that's capable of about 135 amps in burst, which means it's going to be the equivalent of squeezing the throttle and getting either a 280cc engine, or if you should so please, you can basically pare that down to the equivalent of a top 80. So the idea is one system that functions and feels like whatever it is that you're flying now, with the obvious caveat or trade-off of energy density over time, meaning you have to be, aware that you're going to have shorter flights if you're flying a larger engine in the electric category. So that's everything. I realize it's a lot to unpack. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah.
And,
let's do a whole show. We'll get you a better microphone. And
is that bad?
It's pretty bad, yeah. But it's good enough to get by, but it's fine. Let's set that up soon. I don't know. Did you know that Harley's doing a coast to coast trip on a Corsair? He's planning on flying in from San Diego. Are you on board with this?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure, because he is going to be in our neighborhood, and I'm planning on going over there and probably gonna at least fly a little bit with him.
Yeah.
Sounds like some guys have a motor for me, and I know you've already got a setup, so
yeah,
maybe we need to connect.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm terribly sorry about the mic. I had no idea. Hopefully it's bearable.
No, it's not horrible.
Okay.
I just know it was I just threw this at you, and I appreciate you coming on. And
I don't know. My ears.
second.
Oh, my ears are really burning.
Yes. By the way, Evelyn from Corsair is here with us. She's in Italy. It's 3 a.m. in Italy.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you the stage back. If anyone has any questions, throw them in chat or fire away. I'm going to hit mute and hang out with you guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that. So, Harley, we've got a couple questions from the chat that I wanted to get to. And before we run out of time, one of the first questions was a part of the route. Is there any specific places that you're planning on going that are landmarks or anything like that? Or are we just going gangbuster across the country?
So it is pretty much gangbusters across the country. I've been pretty strategic in trying to make sure that we can land as much as possible at airports so that we don't come across as yahoos that just take off and land wherever the hell we want to. That's a big part of the planning. And as many people know, I'm a big proponent of us flying in and out of airports so that people are used to with us, and we continue to educate general aviation that we are knowledgeable and safe pilots, and that we can operate in the same airspace as other people and do so safely. So I think, definitely people, if they want to come and try and fly a leg with me, they'll be able to do that. They'll have to coordinate with oh goodness, I must be tired. With Cynthia. Cynthia is my public relations director, and they'll be able to coordinate with her. So we'll put that information up over the weekend, or certainly by Tuesday next week, we'll have that information of how to contact her. And once the route is also published, then people can see if we're passing through along, somewhere where they could come and fly with us. They obviously need to be self-sufficient and make sure that they're following the directions of my crew, so that they can enjoy the time, but without interrupting it. This is a race. We're trying to set a record.
I just want to go on record and say that Ryan just paid for his cuss fund on Venmo. I hope you learned your
Have you
lesson.
gotten Woody's yet, by the way, from last year?
He said it's on its way.
Okay.
It's
With
from last
interest,
year.
of course.
I'll pay his as well. Send me another Rick Life.
Yeah. Okay. It's like, I think it's, what is it, like $50?
Oh man, forget it.
Yeah, renege. We had one guy from he was from gosh, what's his name? George National Geographic. He's a photographer, National Geographic. He came on and he cussed like 3 or 4 times, and but he was just rolling with these stories that were so good that people in the chat were paying for him in the super chat. They were like, "Don't stop him, just keep on." It was so funny. Here's another question. Upon finishing the coast, this came from Chris Fenmore. Upon finishing the coast to coast, will Harley allow Sean to spin the wheel for this motor, harness, and wing? For his motor, harness, and wing. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. You don't have to answer that. That's not the one I wanted to read. For those who ask about Harley, the plan and the flight and the world record. That's from Trike Flyer. Sorry about that. I thought there was more questions on Harley.
You probably got to scroll up. I know I pull them out of the chat and I put them in the other chat. So
I got
Robert
it. Okay.
Can stay on topic, but
were there any states?
If it's a tough question, Ray has to answer it.
Yeah.
Hey, here's one from Jim CR 120, who puts out 90% of the questions. Question, Harley. After all that flying, did you discover any new gear that became essential?
That was the one I was looking for too.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been practicing, and you don't attempt to do something without doing a lot of flying and building up some tolerance. And so, I'm flying several times a week for as many hours as I can. Having a cruise control was a big deal, and I didn't really have the funding to go out and just buy whatever I wanted to go buy on a lot of things. And, I'm already spending a lot more money than I had even anticipated spending. I did just get approached from someone who has what looks like a very good cruise control throttle that I would love to have and try, but it's kind of a little late in the game to try these things. So I have something that's relatively simple and for the most part, I believe, fairly safe. And flight deck. And of course, I'm even doing things like having ADS-B so that I can see other aircraft.
Smart.
I wasn't able to get a unit. I actually made a connection with a company that makes drone ADS-Bs for both in and out, so you can transmit your position as well as get data in. And unfortunately, that didn't come together. But I'm behaving as if I was a Cessna 172. That's how I've planned this flight, every leg, and making sure that I can be seen and that other people can see me, and strobes, and we've done a lot of extra things to be able to do this.
Excellent.
So I have kind of a question, or definitely want to hear from Harley on this one, because you and I have talked about it. Obviously, as a paramotor, most of your flying is going to be in the morning and late afternoon up until just a half hour past sunset, where paragliders are looking for that air in the middle of the day. You expressed that you're just going to keep going until I guess until the bumps start to happen. So if it's at noon and you've got decent air, you're gonna just continue through it, huh?
Yeah, so there's some strategy involved here, right? This we're heading into winter, so we're gonna have less heat, and therefore some less thermals. So
Just gotta stay low on the continent.
Yeah,
That's
well,
my
so
advice.
there's some areas where we can stay low, and then there's other places where, if you listen to my meteorologist, he wants me to be hanging out with the Tucker Gott type of altitudes, and
Oh, Ray,
I mean, we've gone so far as to have oxygen available for me, right? So
no kidding.
yeah, so
All
the
right.
team. This is where Jeffrey came in, and he pulled out the stops, and he got an oxygen kit that's small enough that I could take with me. I hope we never have to use it, because at that kind of altitude, this time of year, it's going to be really, really cold. And so there's this balance between sort of flying over weather, around weather, or being low and tolerating some of it. I'm obviously hopeful because of the time of the year, that we're going to have more stable weather than unstable weather, at least in terms of people worrying about thermals and that type of thing. So there's going to be more hours to fly, and I've been training to fly at all times of the day, flying literally around storms that have thunder and lightning and rain and so forth, and making the difference between having to go from 1,500 feet down to the deck to get around some of it, and then climbing to 7,000 or 8,000 feet to get over the next set of clouds. So that's all been part of the training to get here. And that's why I have a dedicated meteorologist. I mean, I don't know how many other people do this, where they have a meteorologist, a doctor, a crew chief, and a whole bunch of other crew. And then on top of that, dedicated photographer and public relations person.
And Corsair, that's ready to send you stuff if you need it.
And Corsair, I mean, I can't thank Evelyn enough. I have more spare parts that I hope I will never need than I've ever had. Mike at Blackhawk has been incredible. I'm flying this new frame that weighs just 8 pounds. And we made some other adjustments the other day for the new props that I'm getting from Helix. And they've sent me the charts going like, hey, you've got this 3-blade prop, it's going to give you this, or you can fly the other 3-blade and it will give you something different. So that's incredible to get that kind of support out in manufacturers.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal. And you got to remember, no one's really set US records for more than 10 years. So, Jeff Gorman is incredibly excited. I think Leo Cthulhu wanted to actually go do this, and I kind of I jumped out the hat and said, hey, I'm doing it. And so I'm getting the support to go make that happen.
We're going to have to goad her on to try to beat your record after you do it.
Oh, she's going to, I mean, I'm just a small fish here, right? There are lots of big names that have done some very incredible things. But maybe this would be the catalyst that sort of really gets paramotoring into being a full sport here in the United States rather than just recreation.
If you want to support the adventure, you can go to Venmo. Also, he has some T-shirts on Venmo. If you want to Venmo Harley, it's at TalkSure. That's TALKSURE. If you want to support him, you want to buy a T-shirt from him. I think what did you say? They're $25, and you can support this adventure. Go check out his website, which is 50xchallenge.info. All kinds of great stuff on there for his adventure, and I'm excited to see as the pictures start to roll. And I want to be a part of it. So please keep me posted when you are here in San Diego, when you're planning. I know you were planning on the 28th on Saturday. If that is going to be the date and you're sticking to that, I'd be interested to know, and I'd like to be involved. Also, I want to mention just a couple sponsors real quick. Torrey Pines Glider Port. They're a great place. He's probably going to see that in his peripheral as he's flying away from San Diego. But Torrey Pines Glider Port's website is flytorrey.com. You can get some great training. Get your P3 so you can fly there. And also the show is brought to you by Resurgence PPG. If you're interested in supporting our men and women of uniform, you can make a tax-deductible donation to resurgenceppg.com. By donating, you're supporting those who have put their lives on the line for our freedom. And so you can reach out to Todd Scandrett at resurgenceppg.com. I felt like you were about to say something else, Harley, before I went to the commercial break. And I love doing that, by the way. I feel like I'm on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So in terms of timing, obviously weather is driving everything. Right.
Nope. You just ran out of data.
And we are looking
back.
for the next couple days. So I will be arriving in San Diego on Tuesday, and the rest of my crew between Tuesday and Thursday. And then as soon as we get a green light on weather, anything from right now, it looks like probably Sunday next week, any day after that we get a green light, we're going to go.
Okay. I'll be in contact with Anthony Peregringo. It seems like the communications going that way. So I'll talk to him about how I can be a support, at least from San Diego side.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to have you guys there.
Hey, Harley, did you, I'm sorry, I don't know if you answered it already. What wing are you flying?
I'm flying the Hadron 3 from Dudak, and that's provided by Paragliding.
Awesome.
We got some other questions from the chat. Matt Cowan said, do you have any experience dealing with testy county park rangers that you plan on leveraging on your trip?
Yes, actually, I have. I do. I have quite a bit of experience, and I think, I think I have some good information to share with people. The bottom line, particularly here in the Bay Area and in California, is there are a lot of counties that are trying to pass ordinances that directly go against federal aviation rules. And from the lawyers that I have talked to, they're basically illegal. And of course, their objective is to scare you off, right? To make it more difficult rather than actually win in court. But they're definitely my local team, which were, I don't know, nearly 45 a group strong here in the Bay Area. We communicate a lot about procedures and information that goes on around the airports and the parks that we fly out of. And that's enabled us to avoid situations and also make sure that everyone is adequately educated. I've even had a run-in with the Navy at a decommissioned a weapons station, where the aeronautical charts show you that it's open airspace. I mean, general aviation flies around it all the time, but because we were flying, pretty close to the
Really want to hear what he has to say. Say it one more time. You broke up saying we got really close to. Start over from we got really close to.
Yeah, so we had been flying close to the ground over the weapons station that is decommissioned. And they took exception to that and, provided the group with some warnings. And I've been flying that location for 5 years and never had an issue. So the good news is the FAA basically said, no, what they told us and what they did was totally incorrect. They had no reason to deal with us. And so I've basically talked to the lieutenant commander there, and I'm working with the FAA to see if we can get this issue ironed out once and for all, because we intend to keep flying there, but we don't want to get harassed. So we've got to leverage what we've got. And as I said, even with East Bay Parks up here, they've written ordinances that all the cities utilize, and they're in total contradiction of FAA rules. So You know,
Interesting.
the key thing is if you can avoid the situation, that's probably the easiest thing, which is what they want anyway. But it's really hard to get access to places to fly here in the Bay Area. And when we do, there's not a lot of places that we can go sometimes. And so we don't want to lose access to these areas.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, they don't have the legal right to go stop us. And so with us becoming such a strong group, we're starting to say, hey, we want to cooperate with you, we want to talk with you, and we want to reach a mutual understanding, rather than, you know, getting lawyers involved. Because
Yeah.
I've had enough of, you know, East Bay Parks in particular trying to say that they can control how we fly. And even Stanford tries to do the same thing. And of course, as a commercial drone pilot, you know, those rules are intended to govern where people can get access to fly over property. And that's the challenge. You know, we want to cooperate, we want to work nicely with people, but they are making it more difficult than what is reasonable.
All right. Well, that wraps up our time. We're going to go to the after show. Before we do, I do want to say, if you want to follow the show on Instagram, you can do that on, it's paraglidingtalk.com. If you, Paragliding Talk is the handle for Instagram. Our on all the podcasting,
Turning into
find
a
an
robot.
Apple, maybe if you just want to listen to it. And yeah, we got all kinds of places now where you can listen to the show or watch the show. My computer said that my internet was unstable, but anyways, if you want to follow the show, go check out paraglidingtalk.com. Check out the website. If you want to support the show on Patreon or PayPal, you can do that. There's links in the description. I really appreciate those who have been supporting the show. I know it's James Sutherland's birthday. Thank you. He's been supporting the show for a long time. If you want to support the show and keep this thing going and contribute to the flying community, that's what you're doing when you invest in paraglidingtalk.com. So do that on Patreon and PayPal, and I really appreciate your investment. Also, I want to just say special thanks to Evelyn for coming on, specifically for getting up very early. That means the world to me that you would do that. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to invest in the show.
Thanks for having me. And I'm so going back to sleep.
Yeah. Now you're off work. You can put it on your time card. You could tell Alberto that you.
Alberto is listening and is watching the live on YouTube. Also, my colleague is following. So it's a team effort.
Yeah. Hey, Alberto, by the way, I know you're watching. I would love to have you on the show. Let's set something up and we can talk about all things motors and flying and all kinds of good stuff.
At what time?
Yeah, I know it's hard, huh? We have to wake him up early.
Okay.
Yeah. It's hard to get the Europeans to come on the show. It's very difficult because
I would like that, but right now it's impossible because of the COVID situation.
Yeah.
So whenever it will be possible again.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thanks to you.
Harley, Ray Pierce, Jeffrey Miller, great adventure coming soon. Love it. I'm so glad that you guys are going to do it. And I can be just a small part of it. So glad that you guys are going to do it. We're going to go to the after show. Thank you for everybody who's watching, and thank you for everybody who's in the chat. If you want to join the after show, drop your email in the description. If you're a Patreon or a PayPal supporter, or if you're a super chatter, you can come on the after show. And so just drop your email in there. It will be blind on there, so you don't have to worry about it coming in front of everybody. And we'll send you an invite. So thanks for watching. If I don't see you on there, I'll see you